Welcome back to The Good Talk, the show where we discuss what's hot, what's grot, and everything in between in the wide world of Warhammer. My name is Adrian, and I'll be your host for this morning. It's an exciting day. It's Dataslate Day, and my goodness, there are many impactful and bold changes from Games Workshop, so I'm very excited to discuss with all y'all. There's already been a flurry of discussion this morning on interwebs and on YouTubes and all that good stuff. So it is very exciting. What I want to do today and for right now, about that next hour or so, is kind of go through some of the changes, yes, obviously, and also discuss the potential impacts on them. This is also going to be a chance to just kind of hang out with y'all. I've been dying to hear what everyone else thinks about this stuff. I've been kind of stewing on it, and let me just say, first of all, I am extremely excited. I have not been this excited for Warhammer in a long time, and I've been excited about Warhammer, so I'm very pumped about the bold and aggressive changes that GW has made, and by and large, other than a couple, I think, warranted nerfs, it is mostly enabling people to do more, to give new and exciting abilities, and make unplayable units hopefully playable. So that's very exciting. Cool. So with that, let's dive on in. I'm going to give people just a couple minutes. We're going to start a little bit slower today because I know it is a different time, a random time. Kind of was waiting to see how the morning panned out as far as other streams, because frankly, there's a lot of content that even I want to watch. So let's welcome on in. Yeah, Mike, cool. I'm going to turn up the mic again. I turned it up from the last stream because I did see a note that we were a little bit soft. Obviously, we're in a different setup. And as a side note, of course, today of all days, the neighbors' gardeners are here. So let me know if that picks up. Yeah, I think this mic, it looks like it's not picking it up, but when I speak, maybe it does. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and turn things up a little bit here. Let's take this up. A boom. Check. Mic chickadee check. It's looking a little bit better there. Let me bump it up a little bit more. Welcome in, folks. We're just giving everyone a chance to filter in and join us. Welcome. Hello. What's up, Melody, Mini Maher, Good Sprite, Yusuf, Thunder, Lubadon, Slay for Beer, John Burkett, Michael Prince, Thomas Mullen, Joshua Carbaugh, Evan Tuminello. Hey. Nurses gardeners, neighbors gardeners across the street. They're loud for me, but when I was testing the mic, it wasn't picking up. Sam Hill, yes, I will definitely talk about them. I'll definitely talk about the GSC. I understand people's takes about them. Where's my coffee? Oh my God, where's my coffee? I'm gonna have to text Mel. I can't do this without my coffee. Anyways, yeah, we're gonna talk about them. I'm excited about them, I'll be honest. Perfect, excellent. Thank you so much, Slay for Beer. Happy to help with the audio. Actually caught you live. What a day. I know it's an early time. I debated doing this. Do I do this like super early when it launches? Do I do it later on? I just, I think this is the best slot, the best time. We're doing a bunch of recording and editing and stuff later on today. So, but I did want to kind of discuss it as soon as possible, just because I'm literally just so excited. We have a game day on Sunday at the studio. So let me know what you think I should take. I'm absolutely invigorated. Especially about armies I didn't really expect to be excited about, like Space Marines. So very exciting. Michael is on the drive-thru for coffee right now. Nice. Tell them I say hi. Did my World Eaters get nerfed? World Eaters, nothing too massive, I don't think. I'll walk you off the ledge for Sisters. Yes. Sisters will be okay, I promise. Like, it sucks. Honestly, I'll say this. It sucks when your army is busted, right? And they came out busted, and then they've made adjustments. They still think they're too strong, so they are making more changes. But like, it puts you in a bad position, because it's like, well, if your army is perceived to be too strong, then it makes your games a little bit less satisfying. Because people are like, oh, your army's strong, and you're inevitably going to be hitting like nerfs. So we continue to see those with Sisters. And while I think they're pretty warranted, like, I definitely do sympathize. Like, it does suck to be in that position. So yeah, we'll definitely talk about Sisters. My condolences. We'll make jokes, of course, about like they deserved it, but like at the end of the day, an army being too powerful is a problem, even for the people playing it, because then it sucks. And then Drukhari is weird. Drukhari, the like perception of Drukhari and the stats of Drukhari and all that stuff is also very, very strange. And we've seen that throughout, like the results that they put up versus what the like top players think versus what GW thinks are all pretty different. Yeah, excited about Cult Ambush changes. Death Guard. Yeah, I think Death Guard in a good place, honestly. Good morning, Elijah. Custodes bikes. My goodness. Yes. We had a game last night. We played the new Custodes detachment, which is vehicles and mounted, and I made the list for Bridger. It was just focusing on vehicles, dreadnoughts, but I kind of want him to play it again now that the bikes have gotten some big love. Yeah, 6-inch deep strike. Yeah, makes sense. Melody's in her Outrider era. I'm gonna just text Mel real quick when she gets a chance if she can bring coffee. Let's see. I don't know where I put it. Killing me. Okay. Second ounce of 14-ounce coffee. Second cup. Yep. Positive side, I don't have to take infiltrators on all my Black Templars list anymore. I know. Infiltrators tonks have finally gone down. Not because they got worse, but because their role's a little bit less necessary. Okay, cool. Let's go ahead and get started. Looks like people are here and ready to roll. Welcome in, everybody. We are going to be taking a look at the brand new balanced data slate. Thanks for joining us live. If you're here live, there are some exciting and bold changes, and I just want to give a shout out to Games Workshop for obviously not only sending us the data slate in advance so we could have a bit more of an informed opinion, but also for the bold changes that they've made here. I think it's exciting. I think there's a lot of these things that frankly, I'm shocked. And I think a lot of you in chat are also shocked at the changes that they've done. Some big sweeping adjustments, big buffs to vanilla Space Marines in a way that nobody was expecting, but we had sort of like hoped for. So that's a very, very exciting thing. So yeah, let's get on into it. I will have the obligatory little screen share here of the balanced data slate. I'm going to go through it. This is not a pre-recorded video because we've been doing a lot of like the quick, fast edits for Grotmas, and this one is so sweeping, I will probably miss things. And I didn't really want to put that permanently into the world without at least having some checks and balances, which is you. So if I miss something, let me know, and we can talk about it because there's a lot of changes, and I'm excited. Especially want to reach out to you faction specialists. How do you feel about your faction when we get to it? Are there nuances that maybe are not obvious to those of us who are not experts in that faction? So with that, I'm going to blow this up just a little bit, and let's get on into it. So first off, we have the formatting of the balanced data slate, right? This is the same as it's been. Well, they've been improving it. So now what we have here is you can see any text that is highlighted basically in this like blue color is a change that they made previously. That was a change from the core rules, but didn't happen this balanced data slate. Then any text in red is newly added or adjusted and things like that. So that helps you kind of parse it out, and I really appreciate that. We'll talk about the MFM as well, and I really like the increase in accessibility that GW is giving us, especially with like the massive dumping of information. So first off, stratagems that allow a closer setup range. This is all your classic 6 or 3-inch deep strikes. Now they've been changed to say you can only come in no more than 6 inches away rather than 3. This is a huge change. 3-inch deep strike has been a big part of 10th edition since the launch. It has been something that we've had to adjust to. It really meant that units that prevent deep strikes from within 12 inches, things like infiltrators or clamavis, really are very valuable. And we've seen more and more armies get this. We have Demons and Grey Knights off the bat, but now Tau have it, Necrons have it. I'm probably missing one more, to be honest. There's a lot that have it. So going to the 6-inch is, I think, a good call, honestly. I think it's just, it requires, it brings us back a little bit to having to like daisy chain out and overly like protect all our backfield in a way that I don't think GW necessarily wants. It also means you have this potentially awkward conversation of like, okay, I've got a 40mm base on an objective. That means it's fully covered, so you can't land on it. And like, oh, it's a little bit off. It just creates errors in the game and sort of uncomfortable moments potentially with opponents. So I think from a balance perspective and a socials perspective, this is a great change, and I'm all for it. Even as someone who really likes and plays all the factions that use it. So I'm sad for Demons for it in particular because they don't have a bunch of shooting to be super impressive with it. They can flip objectives nicely, but they also kind of need that to use their army rule. So for me, that's probably the biggest bummer is just demons personally. But maybe I should just get over that. So yeah, let me know what you think. Hypercrypt is still fine with 6 inches. Yeah, the hypercrypt thing. Oh god, I hate what the detachment has become to be. It's like the triple DDAs, double monoliths, warrior brick or 2, and it's just like such a pain to play against. So they've been chipping away at it, changing the scoring for going second for secret missions. Now this, and it tones it down and makes it more normal, more reasonable. So yeah, 3-inch deep strike is one of those things I think we'll look back historically and be like, yeah, that was crazy. Yeah. Cool. Grey Knights still Nemesis Dread Knight reliant, just a different way to play it. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Star Shatter only. Play the new thing. Star Shatter. Honestly, this is another nail in the coffin for the other Necron detachments. This next one's very interesting. Stratagems that worsen armor penetration, commonly referred to as Armor of Contempt, because that's, Space Marines have it in all their detachments, now only works for that activation. This is a massive increase in lethality in the game. So much of your math when calculating durability and offensive output is considering, well, what happens if you're going into a target in cover with Armor Contempt? What it means now is it's only going to work for that one big super activation. It means it also punishes big super activations, which I think is great. And it really devalues Armor Contempt. It's one of those things that is going to be an adjustment for all of us, obviously. But the thing is, you're using this almost every chance you get, right? It wasn't a question of like, do you use it? It was a question of when to use it, which unit do you use it on, because it was so strong. So from the perspective of like making a stratagem not auto take, automatically be used every single time you can, I get it. Yeah. So I think it's harsh but fair for all of us. Hey, what's up, Minergal and Matthew? Welcome on in. Yeah, we talk about a little bit of Warhammer here. We like it. Willow hated 3-inch deep strike from day one and being very upset about every army getting it. Yeah, absolutely true. And yeah, Melody, AOC every single turn. It's just exhausting. That was part of what we were trying to get away from, right? In 10th edition was like, well, really, there were only certain stratagems that you would just use constantly, and they were better than all the other stratagems. And that's why now we have only just six stratagems in each detachment, and hopefully you use all of them. And AOC was still a stratagem that just dominated the game. So I think it's great. Exciting. So, and it's subtle, right? Because it's still good, but it's going to be much more situational. So the rest is the same. Modifying CP is the same. It works on everything, not just battle tactics. You cannot double use stratagems, which is good. They have some adjustments to the lone op abilities, which is good and fine still. Adding new units to the army still only can return a unit once. However, we will see some help to those style armies, especially in Tyranids. And I guess we're starting off with the sad news of the day. This is the Adepta Sororitas, the sisters. As we were just discussing, as we were sort of congregating here, the sisters came out with a very, very, very powerful codex. Too strong. In fact, I will say, the points out of the gate were just flat out wrong, right? It was clear that GW had the correct points lined up. It was just on that initial release when points weren't released that they seemed completely busted. Real points came out. The army was still busted, still very strong, and they've continued to receive nerfs and points increases ever since. Now I think finally we have the nail in the coffin in terms of bringing them back down to earth. But let's see. And again, I'm curious about Sisters players. What do you think? So first off, we have the Army Rule Acts of Faith. This is gaining the Miracle Dice. Now it's going to happen at the start of each battle round rather than each player turn. And at the start of at the end of each phase, if one or more Adepta Sororitas units from your army were destroyed that phase. This kind of harkens back to an older iteration. It's going to, so you're getting half as many from the turns are going to battle rounds, so half as many from that. And then you no longer get one for each unit that is killed, which is already absurd. It goes to if one died during the phase. So much more limited. which, you know what, fair. It was just it was too much. I'm not actually opposed to Miracle Dice work, them having Miracle Dice in a limited capacity, but when you just have buckets of them and you can throw them away, it also kind of diminishes the meaning of miracles. So yeah, you think they're 6 feet under fly side? Very interesting. Okay, that's, you know what, I think that's fair. I want to hear. Triumph of St. Catherine. This one I might need a little bit of help on. I'm going to have to pull up the data sheet. Solemn Procession. So St. Catherine saw a 60-point increase in the last update. And maybe I'll pull up the MFM so we can kind of look at these at the same time just to get the whole picture for each faction. Now, Solemn Procession changes to just each time you gain 1 miracle dice at the start of the battle round. If this model's on the battlefield, instead you just get a 6. It is not just a d6. So I'm actually going to go ahead and pull up the Triumph and get a sense for really what we're losing here. The Triumph. And again, Sisters players, let us... No, it's locked. I'm going to have to pull it up over here. I think I have it set up. Okay. Faction's totally fine, but they'll need to give those 5 dice back. Okay, that's interesting. So you think it's too much. What's the best thing to do while modeling and painting these days? Ooh, what's the best thing to do at the same time? I mean, I do most of my best painting and hobbying at the coffee table while watching TV. If I'm here to listen to battle reports, keyword listening, I don't have time to really see it. So, yeah. Sisters are a punitive nurse for at least the next few months. Oh, man. I hope not. Let's see. Triumph. Let me see if I can pull up on our doc. Beep, beep, beep. Give me a second as it loads. Computer's just pooping out. Okay. While it's loading, let's take a look at the Bringers of Flame detachment. This is Fervent Purgation detachment rule. This, of course, is the ridiculously powerful detachment that's taking home most of the wins for Sisters. Now, instead of just having to be within 12 inches to get the extra strength, you have to be within 6 inches. Very, very, very close, which I think is totally fair, honestly. You already have assault, so you get extra movement. 12 was just like so trivial for you to be able to get on top of having assault and everything. Yeah, this window is just totally pooped out. Okay. All right, I'm gonna have to lean on folks for the triumph ability. But yeah, I think this one's totally warranted. And then you have a number of CP increases on key strats: Blazing Ire, Cleansing Flames, both going up to 2 CP. Again, fair, very, very strong stratagems. I don't think it's totally unreasonable. And then Rites of Fire stratagem. Which one is this? This is the +1 to wound. And then the Battle Shock goes to 6 inches. Was this 12 before? Again, just kind of lining up. You got to get real close. It does make it significantly harder to use with things like Flamers, because... I guess Seraphim moves so fast. Is it really hard to use? Is it hard to use, chat? It might be fine, honestly. I'm just trying to be cognitive and not just be like, well, it's nerfs, it's good, the army was too strong. I do genuinely want to know if people think it has gone too far. So let me know. Were there points changes at all? Yeah, we're going to pull up points changes just a second, Tycho. 5 from Acts of Faith, 5 from Triumph. 10 miracle dice per game. Yeah. So that seems to be, people think it's a lot. Bonesaw, as Reddy says, just bury them. It's fine. Here's the MFM. So let's go ahead and pull up Sisters so we can get a holistic view here. Sisters, yeah, Castigator up 10, makes sense. Exorcist up 20, because people are running triple of them. That's it, actually. Okay. All right, cool. So no extra nerfs on top of that. And then now we get to the Penitent Host. I love this change. This is actually a buff, where previously you had to actually pick your Penitent abilities even if you didn't want to use one. Instead, now it's just you can. Good. Sometimes you just want to sit because they only have like 3 abilities, right? So that's a thing. So that is the Sisters changes. Honestly, it's a lot. The Miracle Dice people seem to be torn about. I think obviously it is. I think the Sister changes in general are warranted. I think the army was just so absurdly strong. So I like the changes from 12 down to 6 inches. I like the reduction in Miracle Dice. Whether or not it's too much, we will find out soon in the coming days. But I think it's honestly totally playable. Totally playable. And now Sisters players don't have to deal with the backlash of that. We have to listen to the backlash of them being sad. 9 and 10 love the changes. Stormlord says Salamander is officially the better Sisters detachment. So the thing is, like, it's like I was talking about this with the Necron detachment. Like, there's only been one time that an army-wide assault ability, basically army-wide assault ability, has not been busted, and it's been when they gave into Space Marines, and that was for Salamanders. So yeah. With that, let's take a look at the next army. This is the Custodes, and of course, we have some exciting changes here. We have the same changes as before for the Shield Host detachment and the Orc Champions detachment. Good. Then some very spicy datasheet detachment abilities, datasheet changes. The jet bikes finally getting some love. They have been really bad this edition, just like overcosted, not good profiles. So here we first of all have their toughness is going to 7, or going to 7, and their wounds are going to 8 on the characters. So getting extra toughness, extra wound, which is awesome. The bikes, we'll just skip down below real quick. You can see are getting the same treatment. So characters +1 toughness, +1 wounds. Same for the bikes. It's kind of, I think they should have been 5 wounds for sure. Like 4 wounds is not enough for those big beefy boys. 2 damage is just devastating into them. So I think this is fantastic. Like, especially after they lost the -1 damage. Oh, that was infantry only anyways. Yeah, so makes sense. A big change here to the weapon profiles on the bikes. The salvo launchers, which is sort of their like melta missiles, up to strength 10, AP 3, and there's D6 +1 twin linked. So massive overhaul. They're going to be much better at killing those big tanks now, big vehicles. Strength 10 means that it is, going to be very consistent into those like slightly upgraded chassis, and they can still punch up to higher toughness if they need to because they have twin linked. So huge upgrade there. And then this is where you'll have to settle something for me, because Bridger and I have been discussing this. There's the salvo launcher and the hurricane bolters. The hurricane bolters have had such an absurd glow up. I'm shocked genuinely. +1 AP, +1 damage. AP1, 2 damage. These are heavy bolters with 3 shots going up to 6 shots in rapid fire. These things seem nuts to me. And his argument is just that the salvo launchers are just clearly so much better that you would just take those every time. And his argument is also like you're charging the thing that you're probably shooting with the other ones. I don't know. These both seem so strong. So I'm excited. I love the bike models. I think they're very cool. They can open a transport and charge what's inside now. Yeah, very important, right? When you only have a few units, it's important to not basically get phase locked into like doing one thing at a time. So very excited about this. Amazon Secret Level Space Marines short was the preview. Space Marines delete stuff. Yeah, honestly. It is a great time to be playing Space Marines. They're Bolt Inceptors now. Yeah, they have 1 less strength. Wait, no, they're not. They're not Bolt Inceptors at all. They're not strength 5. They don't have sustain 2. They have more shots. But they're very spicy, honestly. Cracking rhinos and killing what's inside in melee. Yeah. Both goods coming from a Custodes player. Yeah, I think it's interesting. I'm curious to see what the breakdown ends up being. Let's take a look at the points real quick, because that's all. Oh, technically, no, there is one more. What is this? This is the Virtus Praetor's Quicksilver Execution ability. Once per battle, after this unit ends a normal or advanced move, you can select 1 enemy unit, and then you can do mortal wounds. What was it previously? It ends a normal move? Did they just get rid of... Yeah, I have no idea what that changes. Let me know. Points-wise, let's take a look. Custodes. Captain up 20, Praetors went up 10, and 15 for so it's basically 5 points each. So you're looking at 75 points each. It's a big upgrade though. Extra wound, extra toughness, extra damage output. I think 5 points for that. I would pay any day of the week. So exciting. All right, so that's Custodes. Next up, the Adeptus Mechanicus. We have had a lot of changes with them, and so you'll see a lot of it is the same. This is I'm feeling very, very positive about Admech after the new detachment, and with all the changes here. Frankly, I think it's going to be fantastic for them. So same changes to the doctrinas here, balance data, or the data sheet changes, all that stuff, weapon profile changes. Nothing new there. Nothing new here. I don't know that there were any actual changes, to be honest. Yeah, nothing there. And then, so I was curious whether the points would go up with all the new stuff. Robots went down 10, which is awesome. 5 points each. So that's cute. I like it. Honestly, I think Admech are in a good place right now. I'm very excited. It's one of the armies I am the most excited to play, just personally right now. So I think totally fine. Makes sense. Based on the mic, this looks like Adrian at home. Yes, it is Adrian at home. These are the first thought videos recording in the studio office. Or Adrian, are you just rocking this at home? Yeah, rocking it at home, Sean. Yeah, I want to find maybe it's sometimes nice to be able to just like stream here before I go in, because we have long days that we're streaming until probably like 11 tonight, or we're recording, not streaming. We won't be live. And so it's nice to be able to do something at home, but I also sometimes need to have like an overlay that we can kind of see. So I might rejigger one of the sets at the studio to also be able to do this. Because it's something we've been wanting to do more and more often for like talk show style things, where it's like sitting on the couch is not the most convenient thing. So yeah, Melody is correct. Definitely like the stream if you're enjoying it, if this is helpful. Yeah, really appreciate it. It helps a lot. Castellans went down. 4 model squad will probably be in every list now. I don't know about 4 Castellans in every list, honestly. I think they're good. I think especially in the new detachment, they're good, but I certainly don't think that they're an auto take, honestly. Cool. Was it only advanced before Yusuf says on the bikes? Yeah, that might be the thing. Yeah, you're only feeling the burn from yesterday, Yusuf. Maybe you're transhuman. You're space brain. Eldar players, you can calm down. Everything's fine. No new changes from the balanced data slate. Points. Hey, also Titan players, you're fine. Eldari, literally no changes. Perfectly fair and balanced. Totally fair. Remember, of course, that these are quarterly updates. Or no, the balanced data slate is what? Every 6 months. Points are quarterly? Something like that. Point is, we know that there's an Eldar coming sometime, probably in the first quarter. And so that will be coming out before the next one of these comes out. So I imagine there's no changes, because that's gonna come in and just like modify everything anyways. So that makes perfect sense to me. Guard players, some sadness, but I think a reasonable amount. Lord Solar Leontis orders section officer units. This officer unit can issue 3 orders up. Can issue up to 3 orders to regiment and squadron units. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but the big change here is it's not just to any Astra Militarum unit in the book. This notably means that they cannot order Ogrins, right, and Bolgrins. Previously, he was the only one that could issue orders to them. It was also the one that could issue orders to tank commanders, but tank commanders have since been given the squadron keyword, which means that they can issue and receive them to themselves. So really, the way I read this is they don't want Bolgrin and Ogryn to have orders. They saw points increase last time. People still took them because they're still great, and they're really trying to clamp down on that, and also the auto take selection, which is Leontis. So I think that's totally fair. And then, of course, the one that we should all be expecting because of Worlds, Tempestus Aquilons, for one, can only use their short deep strike in your movement phase, so no rapid ingress obnoxiously. And of course, to match the rest of the balanced data slate changes, it's going to be a 6-inch deep strike rather than a 3. Totally fair. Still a fantastic unit. I'm going to be trying to put probably 2 into each of my competitive lists. They're still great. So Aquilons, totally cool, totally warranted. Guard, so far so good. Let's take a look at the points. That's a lot of red here. It's a lot of red. So Kading Chalk Troops, interesting. Catechins, yep, you saw them all over the place. Chimeras increase, interesting. Gaunt's Ghost, yeah, 10 points, great unit. Hellhounds, 10 points, totally fair. Why does this thing have a 2+ save? I have no idea. Leontis up 25 points. It's a big points increase, but again, if you were going to take them, you're going to take them. Ogryn, the 10 man is seeing an increase, which is interesting. The small one is still very, very cheap. 20 points model is great. Aquilons going up 20, fair. Regular Scions going up 10, also fair. They were just so absurdly cheap. So I think these are good changes, honestly. The shock troop surprises me a little bit, but that might be them just trying to say, well, if the catechins are going to increase, then let's increase this. Does this make them all the same? Yeah, so the Kriegers, the catechins, and the Cadians are all the same points costs. They're trying to just get rid of people just taking what is the cheapest option, would be my guess there. Which, yeah, fair enough. What is up? Melanie Phillips, the doc. I assume so. Wait, are you a gray name? Your gray name? What the heck? Also, Mel, couldn't there be coffee? I texted you. Are you still in a work call? Anyways, let's take a look. What does everyone think about all this? Both will be quarterly now. Codex Eldari, aka Harlequins Q1 2025. Fingers crossed, Sean. I'm hoping. We can't order no Ogrins. Yep, makes sense. Or we can't order Ratlings, those sweet new Ratling models, which I have right here, actually. I was very excited to get them from G-Dubs. I built them very quickly. I Zenithaled them, and then I just haven't finished painting them, so that's why you haven't seen them. But I absolutely love the new models. Let's take a look. Sad War Boss went up 10, just feels uncalled for. Yeah, we'll talk about Orks very soon. Coffee is life. Yes, Mel. I have a mug. I just left it somewhere. I don't know. Ah, perfect. Oh, you want on like a different account. Nice. Cool. Awesome. Well, let's keep it moving along. Blood Angels. No changes. Points. Let's take a look. Oh, Templars. So Mephiston went up 10. Good. He's busted. He's so dumb. I would pay even more for him. Sanguinary Guard went down, so those Blood Angel player can stop complaining. Every time I play against Sanguinary Guard, I'm like, oh my god, they're so good. And they're like, yeah, but they're just a little too much. And I'm like, okay, how many points would make you happy? And I've been quoted this amount of points, so hopefully you're happy now. So that's cool. Liberator Assault Group, the Rage Fueled Warrior, up 15 points. Yeah, this was 10 before. You're still going to take it. It's still very, very strong. So, cool. Blood Angels, very happy. That's another army, frankly, I'm still very excited about, very jazzed about, especially after the Space Marine changes, which we'll get to. Saving the best for later on. Black Templars, let's take a look now. Oh, yeah, so they adjusted the Repulsor Executioner to be able to take one more. This is something we'll see later on. Good. Now you can have your support character in there as well. And then the Crusader Squad, again, another kind of preview for Space Marine things to come. The AP of the Crusader Squad, the little dudes, melee, has gone up to 1. Fantastic change. This is a great squad already, but this is really like wrapping it in to be consistent with the overall buffs and changes to Space Marines. And then as we saw here, a bit of a points decrease in the Black Templar's Repulsor and the Black Templar's Repulsor Executioner. Maybe that will make Crapco happy. Probably not. Nothing will. With that, let's take a look at the Chaos Knights, Harbingers of Dread. So we know we just got the new detachment from them, which is cool. And then they changed it. So they changed it now so that not only the big knights have the Aura of Dread, the small knights will as well. Good change. Makes sense. If you're going to have a bad army rule, you might as well give it to everyone. And points-wise, this is Demons. Chaos Knights. Let's see. All decreases. Executioner, Huntsman, Stalker, Lord of Dread, all going down in points. Happy Chaos Knight sounds. That's an easy one. Oh, sorry, there's more. Aura of Terror enhancement. Okay, so sticky objective control. This is them basically just, it looks like they're rewarding a lot of that kind of stuff. So it makes sense. Yeah, they're just rewarding the way that they word that. And then the Trader's Mark enhancement. This now allows you in your movement phase, select an enemy unit within 12 of the bear, take a battle shock test. Cool. Fair enough. Looks good. This wasn't the Armor of Contempt one, right? Because notably, like, the changed Armor of Contempt, I think only affects the... Ooh, I hear coffee, maybe. I think it only affects stratagems.
So I thought I couldn't find yours.
Yeah.
So here's a new one.
Yeah.
And then here's the one.
You found it.
So now you have 2 coffees.
Double fisting coffee. I like it.
Which one has paint in it? Who knows?
Paint? I don't want paint. I just want coffee. Oh yeah, I'm super excited. This is what we needed this morning, chat. Oh, yes. Double cups. Oh, that's the old one. Anyways, I was going to check. So Trader's Mark, what did this one do previously? Let's take a look. Trader's Mark. I can't type. Is it not exclamation mark? It is. Trader's Mark. Here we go. Enhancement. Oh, yeah. Doom and Darkness abilities active for the bear from the first battle round on instead of from the third. Okay, so forcing a battle shock within 12. Cool. At least it's in movement phase, so you can move on up and then do it. Why not, I suppose. All the buffs being in every turn. Yes, Tabonicus. They ditched 3-inch uppy downy. They ditched 3-inch deep strike everywhere. So I think that's fair. Cheaper repulsor. Anything but 12 war dogs. I know. What about 13 war dogs? Hey. That was one of my few wins at Worlds. Was going into all war dogs. Oh, man. All right, let's take a look. What's going on next? Beep, 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 beep. So disappointed about no real buffs. Black Templars had been sitting under 45% except for last week. Yeah, what do you think, Azuma, about... Well, we'll talk about Space Marines, but what do you think about those changes for Black Templars? Is there something there that's going to be compelling for you? We're not quite there yet, though. We're at Chaos Space Marines. This is the Screaming Descent stratagem, of course, changing the deep strikes, the 3-inch deep strike to 6-inch deep strike, and then adjusting the range of the battle shock. They do this with a couple of different places, which is good. Shows some oversight. Then this is another kind of Space Marine-ish buff. The Predator Annihilator, which was kind of the lesser of the two Predators. Everyone's been taking the Destructor, which is the extra AP against infantry. That's the one that I just finished up painting and building. I'm magnetizing it, but this one is basically it's like all las cannons, and now you can reroll the damage roll. It used to be just reroll damage rolls of 1 against those targets, which was a joke. And now it's actually very interesting. I think I'm actually would look at taking it, honestly. That's it for Dataslate changes on Chaos Space Marines. Chaos Bikers, the big squad, went down. I haven't seen anyone taking that. The 3 squad is great. And that's it. So pretty quiet. I'm going to highlight this one as another army I'm very excited about right now. I need help, again, deciding what I should play because I'm too pumped about too many things. Yeah. All right. I had once drank coffee at a restaurant my toddler had been storing his crayons in. It was waxy-licious. It's so gross. That's so disgusting. Chaos Demons. All right. Any changes here? No. Screamers, a buff, which is good because I like those cute, silly little models. They now have monster and anti-vehicle 4+, and they hit on a 3+. Great. They're supposed to be able to kill tanks, or at least hurt them. They've never been able to do any of that, and I believe they got a little points increase to reflect that. So fair enough. I did play them the other day on stream when I was using someone else's list, actually, from a tournament, and I liked them a lot, partially because they were cheap, but that's cool. And Bloodletters went down 10 points. Fantastic. Nothing too new on the Demons front there. Next up, we've got the Dark Angels. Oh, I'm so excited about these. Okay. So, first of all, Company of Hunters Detachment, Masters of Maneuver Detachment rule. They technically just changed the title, I guess. Oh, no, I see it's attached. Okay. So then the mounted units from your army are eligible to shoot and declare a charge in which they advanced or fell back. So lots of flexibility now for those Ravenwing units. We've been asking to get some love. There will be more on that when we get to Space Marines. And then the enhancement allows you to reroll advance and charge rolls made for the Bears unit. I don't remember what that enhancement used to do. Let's take a look. Master of Maneuvers. Can I spell it? Just going to type Master of Man. It was... Oh, completely changed. This was the come in earlier from reserve. Instead, reroll advanced charge rolls. Huh. Okay. Very interesting. That's a significant change. Guess they just didn't like it. It is awkward to like have a mobile unit and then have an ability that's not based around using their movement other than rapid ingress, you know? So strange. Yeah, I know. Lion did not get Ravenwing or Deathwing. I know. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. A big thank you to Digital Designer for the super chat. Thank you. Happy Dataslate Day. Happy Slate Day. Both Norns down 15 points. A similarity given Harvester keyword and a similar detachment buff. Whoa. Spoilers. He says, I love it. My 2x Emissary Synaptic list is feeling great, and 2x Assimilator and Assimilator Swarms looks interesting. Yes. Very, very, very exciting. So, yeah, happy Balanced Data Slate Day, Digital. It's a great day to be playing Tyranids as well. Much love given to some, honestly, very cool units. The Assimilator model is awesome. So, thank you so much. We appreciate it. All right, so cool. These are cool changes for Ravenwing. Good. But the best is yet to come. Which is good. We're there. The Lion. Finally, everybody, it's time. The Lion has 2 damage sweeps. Oh, it's exciting. So pumped for them. That's gonna be very, very cool. So the Lion. I think the Lion's definitely on the table. He went up in points. Yes, I believe it's like 30 points. Let's see. Boo. Dark Angels, the Lion, 30 points. That's a bit of a bummer, but sustained and 2 damage on the weapon is fantastic. So I'm very, very pumped. Yeah, we're going to be playing the Lion very soon. Next up, Ravenwing Black Knights, melee weapons. They gained Devastating Wounds, which is a nice thought. They will get anti-monster, anti-vehicle 4+ on the turn they charge. So now they're doing Dev. I'm going to be greedy and say I wish they also had increased damage, but they did not see an increase in cost, so that keeps them as kind of like a cheap bike unit, right? So if we look here, the Blackwing Knights, 90 points. That's cool. I'm into it. We'll talk about Outriders soon, though. And then Samuel, Grandmaster of the Ravenwing, his abilities now, if the, what is it? So the first part's the same. If you are leading a unit, you're eligible to shoot and charge when you advanced. And if you already have that because of the new detachment rule, you are able to get +1 to advance and +1 to charge. Cool. Awesome. This is cool. So I'm a fan. I like it. So you're seeing a lot of upgrades here. A lot of love for Ravenwing. Again, more on Outriders soon. We're seeing love for the Lion, although he doesn't have the keywords. I don't think he should have Ravenwing. I think that would be a little bit silly, but I do think he should have Deathwing, personally. That's Dark Angels. What do y'all think? Oh, here we go. Thank you, Nurgle Matthew, for the $7.77 super chat. It says, Lion emoji, help a Chaos Bro out. Show Mortarion how to sweep, please. I know. Nurgle Matt, you got Deep Strike on Morty. That's all you needed, right? You just need a Deep Strike. Why do they give him Deep Strike? It's so weird. It's so, like, sure, I'll take it. A buff is a buff, but, like, it's so random. So, yeah. Thank you, Nurgle Matthew. We appreciate it. Thank you for your love and support and for being a beacon of positivity and energy in this community. Oh, man. Yeah, speaking of which, it's Death Guard time, just for Nurgle Matthew. Let's take a look. First of all, we have the change to the Annihilator. As we mentioned earlier, you can reroll damage rolls against the targets that you want to go against, which is monsters and vehicles. And as Nurgle Matthew has just previewed, Mortarion now has Deep Strike. Look, it is good if you have a game in which you're trying to get across the field. You're playing on an American table with no terrain. Deep Striking and Rapid Ingress could be honestly cute. So it's a buff. What can I say? It's just nice. And then points wise, I don't remember. Yeah, nothing. That's why I don't remember. Perfect. So Death Guard, honestly, I think are in a great spot. I really like where they're at. The new detachment, I think, is an interesting choice. Tough to beat the index, but certainly worth experimenting with. So I'm very excited to see what Death Guard has in store for the future. And the thing with Morty is, like, I hated on him for a long time in 10th edition because he was such a chump compared to the other Primarchs. And then they continued to reduce his points cost to the point where it was like, well, he's not what he should be, but for 300 points, I'd take him. And I've continued to really highly evaluate the ability to ignore negative modifiers, especially since I had spent the last several months playing Dark Angels with -1 damage. and Mortarion and the Silent King, terrifying for that matchup. So I personally have really come to value Mortarion, even in his current state. So I think it's fair. We need a buff to Blight Lords. Man, I'm so curious about Blight Lords because some people really like them, some people hate them. Nobody's really in the middle. I saw Quentin on Art of War ran a list with 10 of them the other day. I haven't watched that game yet to see how he liked them. They're cheaper. You get a lot. But yeah, it seems I'm very, very torn on Blight Lords. Very cool models though, honestly. DG are performing extremely well right now. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Sam kind of reiterating, wishing Blight Lords were better. Yeah, makes sense. Can't give Mortarion sweet buff because the Emperor's called him a punk. Oh, throwing down the gauntlet. Nurgle Matthew ran 30 Blight Lords yesterday. 30, that's awesome. How'd you like it? Tell us. Certainly a profile. No. Why are their swords strength 5? Because you give -1 toughness, okay? It's fine. Oh gosh, which one's the hot coffee? It's that one. All right. Thank you so much, Azuma, for the $5 super chat. Templars feel like today was a slight nerf. The Space Marine changes affect Black Templars none at all, and the AOC nerf is bad for trying to get 20 Crusaders anywhere. That's a great point, actually. They are a Space Marine faction that wants to sort of bully on a couple profiles, especially with the big Crusaders, which have already taken some nerfs. They have important elite units like the Sword Brethren, so the Armor Contempt changes are bad for them for sure. Yeah, I'm trying to think, like, you can do Outriders with Chaplain, which is fine. Like, that is better. Yeah, I guess it's not, those changes aren't, like, amazing for the types of things you want to run, right? Especially because Black Templars have so many bespoke units on top of some other buffs we'll talk about for the Space Marines. I think that's fair. I think that's a fair assessment, Azuma. So a bit of a nerf for the Black Templars. And as they point out, they haven't been doing amazing lately. Yeah. Let's see. Reword their demon strat then. Because of... Yeah, 55 Termies. Oh, that's right. 30 Blight Lords, 18 Death Shroud, and 5 unique Terminator tunes. So sick! Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Tabonicus, what's the AOC change? Armor of Contempt now only works for a single activation. So you wait for their key unit to shoot in, and it works for just that. So it does not last for the phase anymore. Big hit to it. Which, again, we were discussing earlier. Harsh, but fair. It's a strat that we tried to use every time we could because it's so good. Cool. So getting back to this, that's Death Guard. Death Watch, none. No points changes. Big fan of the new/old detachment for them, the index detachment with great upgrades, I will say. Great upgrades. A lot of people are like, oh, there's actually a lot of changes. And there are a good amount of changes, frankly. It's good. I'm a fan. Why they couldn't reformat it, I will never know. Drukhari, nothing new here. And points wise, got some points increases. The Void Raven Bomber is a terror, and I will not ever be sorry to see points increases on flyers. Racks go down, awesome. Scourge go up, seems a little bit harsh to me personally. 120 points up to 130, and the 6-man Grotesques also going up. I don't know. That seems harsh. That seems kind of unwarranted. What are the stats on Drukhari right now? Because last time they got nerfed, I said, you know what? Technically, they have like a crazy high win rate, so that's fair. Despite the public perception being that they're not good. But this case, I don't know what their current win rate is. So maybe someone in chat knows. How are they doing in tournaments right now? Why did they do Drukhari like this? I know. It seems weird. Flyers are not appropriate for 40k. Yeah. I'm kind of coming around to that, frankly. Drukhari are statistically awful. Okay. RSR was 52. Okay. This is a vibes change and not a math change. Yeah. It's weird. I'm not really a fan. I'm not a fan. Again, the Bomber, get that thing out of here. I don't want to see flyers ever. But the Grotesque and the Scourge, they never did anyone wrong. Okay, cool. Yeah, so we're all in agreement. This is not fair. Scourge or Yannari's fault. Oh, interesting. That could be a thing. Again, this would be a ham-fisted thing. Flyers are fixed artillery. Yep. Scary told me they're great, so I didn't check. Look, Scary can play Drukhari when they're at like a 25% win rate and still do great. So you cannot keep him down. All right, let's get to some exciting news. The Genestealer Cults. I know people also wanted thoughts about this because, is it a nerf? Is it a buff? Who knows? Let's find out. So Cult Ambush, I'm just going to say, we totally called this. Like, this was not insider information. This was us saying, genuinely, we would like to see the Cult Ambush rule go to a point system where you have a certain amount of points you can spend. As your units die, you can pay to bring them back. The problem with the previous Cult Ambush rule was that it was random. It was if you happened to make your rolls as a GSC player, you were super happy your army was incredibly powerful, and if you and your opponent was very sad and salty that they kill things and they just come back. And on the other side, if you fail them, you feel bad because you paid for all this extra army roll that you don't ever get, and your opponent was like, yeah, that's really bad. This army sucks. So no matter what, it was a feels bad mechanic that was incredibly reliant on key rolls. So I'm excited to see this change. The way it works now is when you start the game, you get a certain number of resurgent points based off of the size of the game. 6 points at incursion, so 1,000 points. 10 resurgence points at a 2K game, and at a 3K or higher, you get 14 resurgence points. And each time a unit from your army is destroyed, if every model in the unit has that ability, then you can spend the relative number of resurgence points, and you can bring them back. Looks like you can do it on the same unit multiple times, because it's not a stratagem, it's an army rule. And the points are as follows on the screen. I'm not going to read through them. Before we talk about the implications, let's just finish reading the rule. If you do, so you add a new unit to your army identical to the destroyed unit in Cult Ambush. At the starting strength, you do get all of your wounds back, obviously, and you get all your one-shots back. Good. And the count as not having been shot. And then players, you can place one Cult Ambush marker anywhere on the battlefield, more than 9 horizontally. Same unit, same rules before. And then they still kept the... no, sorry, this is a bit of a change. You cannot rapid ingress, right? So you can't like have someone die and then rapid ingress them back in. Yeah, perfect. But they still kept the change, which is that you can deep strike them or you can use the Cult Ambush markers, which they have here specified as a 32mm base. Makes sense. So before we go farther, that's the new Cult Ambush rule. I think it's great. Let's do some maths. You can bring back in a 2K game, we'll just talk about 2K today because that's the standard. You can bring back 2 5-man aberrant squads. Not a lot, but more than you get in some games. I think the real value here is in the smaller squads, right? You can bring back 5 hybrids with the auto pistols, which is kind of like, you can do it with the flamers too, okay, and hybrid metamorphs. So you can bring back the 5-man 5 times. You can bring back a bigger squad twice. And a small squad. I think you're getting a ton of value there. The bikes are pretty spicy, honestly. You can bring back a unit of 5 for 3. Neophytes seem a bit expensive, personally. I think where they're still paying for the index launch. And then the pure strain, frankly, seem too expensive, honestly. It's like 3 points kind of chunks it out a little bit awkwardly because of the way that the rest of the points line up, where... I am not the biggest fan of bringing pure strain back, frankly. So that's that. Honestly, I think it's good, but I'm curious in chat. I know this could be seen as a nerf, but I honestly think it's very, very exciting. So, wow, a lot of chat just happened. Boom, saw is ready. Perfect. Okay, cool. Bonesaw is ready. Let me get your super chat in just a second. Once we talk about GSC, I will get it. Thank you for sending that in. Okay. Yeah, fighting 5 units of Abbeys is still a task. It sucks one of your mains is hated by W Rules team. No dying to Overwatch immediately coming back. You also can't come back the same turn. Must come back the next turn. 5x5 Aquas are a big 20-man squad with 10 Aquas is really nice. Yeah. Welcome in Nexos Floof, GSC expert. Pretty good place to start the idea for GSC. No Peaches, you haven't not missed Space Brains yet. Yep. Okay, yeah. So honestly, I mean, I like them. Let's look at points real quick, because that obviously influences this. So we see here the Abominate has gone up 20 points, up to 95 points. Okay, he was amazing. And the Ridge Runners went up points. No increases on the Abominants. Aberrants, which makes them fantastic still. Achilles did go up, which is fine. I'm gonna reiterate what Specs said to me this morning, which is I am also happy because it means I don't necessarily have to go buy and paint up a couple more. So not really any points increases, just these changes. I'm a big fan, folks. I really like it. Is there a way to get more points? Great question. Yeah, thank you so much, Floof. Likewise. Looking forward to when we get to the GSE detachment. To just jump ahead to answer Monkey God's question, the Xenocreed congregation, they had an enhancement that allowed you to re-roll your ambush abilities, which I really liked. Now instead gives you 2 additional resurgence points, which is nice. Honestly, I think re-rolling an uncertain amount versus getting 2 points, it's hard to balance those two things, but I think that's fantastic. So you can get up to 12 in a 2K game. And let's finish reading through the changes. GSC nerf from top 1 to top 1. Oh, bold words from Melody. I like it. So Tunnel Crawler Stratagem. This is from Host of Ascension. This changes the 3-inch Deep Strike to a 6-inch Deep Strike. Checks out. Makes sense based off what we've seen. And then the Outlander Claw. Now you're going to get +1 OC on your biker units, which I love. Very, very excited about this. I think we'll see this more later on in the Space Marine part of this, but I really like, and I'm really encouraged by this willingness now for GW to give extra OC to units that are like specialized in that detachment. It's kind of like the olden days where it's like, oh, bikes become battle line, whatever. Battle line is worth something because of Pariah Nexus, but really it's the OC. I think this makes them valuable across different mission packets. So that's great. And then you get a sticky objective holding as well, which is just the rewarding of that ability. Fantastic. Deeds that Speak to the Masses, great name, we just talked about, 2 extra resurgence points. And then a couple of, again, key changes to reflect the changes in Deep Strike abilities. So the Hand Flamers, Acolyte Hybrids with Hand Flamers, range weapons. Yeah, I was like, this is weirdly worded. The demo charges go to 8 inches, so you can still drop in and use them without having to do the 3-inch. Same with the Goliath Rock Grinder. This is just consistency, right? So it changes all the demo charges, but really this is done for the foot people so that the short deep strike still works with them. And then the Kellermorph, this is changed to 9 inches. The reactive move, which is kind of weird because I don't think it was crazy before. The Saboteur changed the range of demo charges to 8. Also good. That's nice buff. And that's it. So big changes to GSC, which everyone was expecting. I am so happy with where they landed. I feel like now I can finally stop and look at the codex and really think about what I'd want to do with them. Yeah. Inez thinks they're top dog, so I'll defer to him. Yeah, see? Totally agree. Take it from the experts, aka not me. But I think they're still amazing. Yeah, being able to guarantee things in this book, in this game, is so important. If you want to win games of Warhammer, you reduce and get rid of uncertainty. That's why Miracle Dice are strong. That's why good players plan out their entire turns. That's why bringing these units back consistently or not consistently is important to be able to win. So it's exciting. Chris Cowboy says, I'll be happy to know that I picked up the Orks Codex to add a new army to the rotation. Yes! One of us. That's exciting. Floof 120 Neo list. So Floof, yeah, do you like Neo still? The resurgence points seem kind of expensive for them. Let me know your thoughts on that. I'd like to see some more heroes in GSC. There's so many. I just did the game show on Poor Hammer's podcast. Go ahead, check it out. It was fun. It was me and Bricky, the Poor Hammer folks, and Tyler. And one of the questions was, wow, I literally just forgot where I was going with that. I had a point. Oh yeah, it was someone had to identify the Clamavus model, and they couldn't do it because there's so many GSC characters that it's like many people, unless you play GSC, it's really hard to identify all of them. So that was really funny. Okay, cool. So that's GSC. Exciting times. The world is not ending. Grey Knights, nothing here. Slight points changes, I believe. Yeah, the regular Nemesis Dread Knight continues to go up in points. You can't keep a good man down. So I think that's fair. It's totally fine. Obviously, true silver armor is going to be affected the same way that armor contempt is affected, so that is a big hurt for them. The 3-inch deep strike going to a 6-inch does hurt them. So they are going to be affected by the general changes to the game by the most, and it does hurt them. It is not good for them, frankly. So I think that's a little bit of a loss for Grey Knights, but I don't think it's a massive change in like their current status. So yep. Welcome in Austin, Cody, lots of great names. Sleepy Gary, hey. Good morning, everybody. Welcome, Specs. Yeah, we just finished talking about GSC. Exciting times. Excited for you to not have to paint up another Ridge Runner. And then Nexus Floof answering my question. I think Neos are still fantastic, but you're going to be bringing back the Acolytes most of the time just because they're a bit more versatile. Makes sense. So you're like a Neophyte heavy list, but bring back the smaller units. Makes sense. Cool. So nothing really on Grey Knights. I want to come back to Bonesaw is ready. Super chat talking about the Drukhari. And they say, oh no. YouTube buffering. There we go. Bonesaw is ready. Thank you for the super chat. They say, I'm convinced some GW exec or the rules lead players plays Necrons and lost a girlfriend to a Drukhari player at this point. What did we do to deserve this? It's so true. I am so sorry, Drukhari players. I'm so sorry for your loss. I don't know what is happening. I don't know why. It seems to be completely unwarranted. So my condolences. Let us know what you think we can do to adjust. And we'll look to Scary for guidance in this difficult and trying time. Thank you also, Evan, for the $10 super chat. Love the trivia show. Thanks for all the extra work you've been doing for great content. Thanks so much, Evan. Appreciate it. We've been really trying to grind and put out a lot of new content. And a lot of new content also, especially for the members. We really want to make sure we give back to them as well because they make a lot of this possible. So if you are enjoying this stream, please like the video and leave a comment. That kind of engagement really does help a lot. It doesn't cost you anything, and it's a great way to let us do what we do and get these videos out. We've been on the grind for Grotmas. Drukhari just like pain. True. Wait, if Neophytes are good now, that doesn't mean Brood Brothers is viable. Whoa. I don't know if we can go that far. But I'm curious to see what the new guard book does for it, right? That'll be interesting. It's just a 6. Ruben Zhao, welcome in. Always good to hear from a expert Grey Knights player. It's just the 6 Nemesis Dread Knight detachment. Yeah, that's fair. You got to spam 6 of them or go MSU combat. Ruben, what do you think about the new detachment? I'm curious your thoughts. Ruben is the terror of our local scene. And also, aren't you on Team America now? Quite good player. Strats are -2 charge and reroll wounds for Purifiers, which is kind of hot. Yeah, I'm very excited for Purifiers. My dad is having a field day because he loves all the units that are traditionally terrible. Things like Reavers, things like Outriders, things like Purifiers. So he's like, this is his day. My God. It's A or S tier. Oh, okay. I like it. Cool. Yeah, I think when people first look at it, they're like, oh, but the index attachment has this, and this. 1, I do think the index attachment will probably change based off of what we're seeing. 2, you can't think that way. It's different. It's just different. Sweet. Cool. Yeah, the thing is, there's still, even though that attachment wants you to run infantry, we're giving reroll hit rolls of 1 on the Nemesis Dread Knights is fantastic. Back to the content. Let's go. Imperial Agents. This just changes your 3-inch deep strike on the Calexis to the 6-inch deep strike on the Calexis. Makes sense. Checks out. Moving straight along. Imperial Knights. No changes here. Let's see if they got some. I know it was different than the Chaos Knights, which people were a little bit salty about. Helvern's down 10. Warglave's down 10. Good. Warranted. Knights are always in a weird position. I think they are totally okay. They're like okay. They're okay. The problem is you can't make Knights too good, otherwise it really skews the game, and it sucks. It sucks to have to say that about a faction, but it is true. So, make the baby Knights more playable. Fair enough. Cool. Next up, the Leagues of Votan. No new changes on the balance data slate. And points-wise, the Thunder can go down 5 and 10, respectively, which makes sense. I think, we keep trying to play them because they're cool. And they are a lot of shots. It is a good fire base, but they're just too slow. They get tagged up too easily. They needed some love, so I think that's good. Not too much to say on Votan. Which takes us to the Necrons. Now, wait a minute, hold on. Is this serious? Okay, let's take a look at this. I'm seeing this one for the first time. I'm realizing Annihilation Legion detachment. The detachment protocol rule is changed to each time a destroyer cult unit from your army makes a range attack that targets the closest eligible target, add a 1 to the AP characteristic of the attack. What was it before? It wasn't this. I don't think I have this book on my phone, so someone might have to help me out here. No way. Annihilation. If I look at this, okay, it looks like I have units, which means I might have the code added. Yes, so it was destroyer and flayed 1 units can reroll charges, and if one of the targets was below half strength, you add 1 to the charge, and now it's plus 1 AP in ranged. Oh my goodness, that's a massive change. It's added. Oh my god. Wow. That's a big buff. I mean, I'm here for it. It's destroyers. Everyone loves destroyers. Come on, Votan is ready. Everyone loves destroyers. That's very cool. Okay, so we're getting some love. So basically, you have the charge bonuses for the melee destroyers and obviously the flayed ones, and then you have the extra AP for the ranged ones. That's exciting. Almost as exciting as this next one, which I believe reduces the number of units that you can uppy downy with the hypercrypt by 1 in each category. So yeah, you can see it right there. This is great. As we mentioned, it's a problematic detachment. They really need to rein it in. I kind of wish it didn't even work on monsters. So yep. That is that. We can look at the points. We see a mixed bag here. We've got increases on the Catan because they're still fantastic somehow. The Wraiths go down, fair. So ever since the Canoptic Stonks went down, they've been tougher. Ghost Arcs, I've never seen this edition. I think we tried to when they first launched. 5-mana mortals down by 5. Good. Let's see some normal troops on the board. Small warriors down. Never see that. Ophidians of all types down. Never see them. Plasmancer. Never see them. Royal Warden up. Fair. I didn't see him a ton, but okay, cool. So yeah, this seems about right. This seems fine. Necrons gonna be very strong. Personally, I would have liked to have seen an increase on the Doomsday Arc. I'm genuinely shocked. I'm like actually double checking that there's not one here. Yeah, like the Doomsday Arc is so strong with the new stuff. The Monolith is so not with the new stuff, but just strong in general. Yeah, Necrons looking good. Anthony says Catans kind of need either the Feel No Pain or half damage. Having both is a little oppressive. Yeah, I think I definitely agree. It's the combination, and they have the healing on top of that, the reanimation. It is a lot, so I think that would be a good change. Necron's favorite child. Wraiths dropping might give play to Canoptic, but Star Shatter is going to be like 95% of the list. Yeah, Star Shatter is just nuts. Nuts. Yeah, flayed ones won't get the benefit. Correct. Yeah. I'm not bitter. 50 points, Bonesaw ready. I think that's too much. I think Necrons are going to be very strong. I think I don't necessarily even want the points increases. I just think that I want Hypercup to be hit, which it did, and I also want the new detachment to be reined in a little bit. It's a little crazy. Yeah, so that's that. Even as a Necron player, anytime I have to kill a Catan, it's painful. So true. Yeah, Star Shatter is more fun. Absolutely agree, Melody. If we're fighting against Star Shatter every time instead of Hypercrypt every time, I will take that every single time. Because it's going to be playing like actual Warhammer rather than this nonsense. Ugh. So anyways, welcome in everybody. If you're enjoying the show, like, subscribe, give a comment below. It really helps the channel. And if you want to send any members or super chats, that also helps as well. Now we come to my favorite faction, the Orks. And Finally, every time we get a rules update, the first thing I do is I open it up and I go straight to the Orc section. I say, today is maybe the day that Orcs get to do WoW in the command phase, just like everybody else, just like the Space Marines, just like everyone who has these good rules. And ladies and gentlemen, today is that day. The WoW rule is now, once per battle, at the start of your command phase, you can call a WoW. And then if you do until the start of your next command phase, the WoW is active for your army. Let's go. This is exciting. This is what we came here for. We finally have control over our own destiny. The single biggest, best change to Orcs that we've had this entire edition. I am so pumped for this. This makes the army not reliant on a die roll, just like the GSC. So very excited about this change. We can finally have control over our destiny. With that, the Bully Boys just changes to be, based off of this new rule. So you still have the second WoW in your command phase. Love it. Extra value given to that detachment as well. And also some love to unplayed detachments. The Great Hunt. Now they've added, and this is when they launched it, this is the thing I said that they needed. You have your target that you pick, right, to be the target of the hunt. And it was monster and vehicle. And now it's monster vehicle or character unit, which is going to give you so many more options. Everyone's running around with characters. There were a couple armies, notably I think Custodes were one, where it was like there was no good targets in most lists, right? You maybe have the 2 Caladius, although at the time of launch they weren't really running that. There was no monsters. This was Warlord before, right? So it was like, cool, Trajan squad, that can be your target. But now it's flexible. This is what this detachment needed to really become playable. And then, of course, they do also modify. You can reroll charge rolls made for your unit, provided one of the targets charges your prey. This is just a modification to the advance and charge strat, fall back and charge. Love to see it. Nothing new here. And then Gaz, this is, again, I believe, just a rewording to work with the new WoW. So, yes. Yeah, just double checking. Very exciting. I am so pumped. Yep, Big Hunt, massive buff. Deep hatred for Hypercrypt. Yep, agreed. They make the WoW in command phase to announce 11th edition change to Orks completely. Yeah. With the new changes, what is the best attachment for Orks? Well, I'll tell you what. I still don't think it's Great Hunt. Okay, let's think through it. So, I'm so torn, actually. So Green Tide is doing quite well right now. I think it's actually doing the best. Dread Mob can do well if you want to play in that style. It's just a lot of models and it's a lot of shooting. It's kind of a pain to play. So, but I think Green Tide is probably the strongest right now. This makes Bully Boys very interesting. And it obviously helps all of them in general. So, I like Warhorde. I like just the general flexibility of it. But I think Bully Boys stonks are way up, competitively up. And I think that the Green Tide just benefits from this. So I think that's great. So I need to try to play some Green Tide. It's less skew than it used to be, which is also a good thing. But it's been doing well. With that, we should look at the points for Orks. See what we have. Warboss went up 10 points, as was mentioned earlier, and the Warboss in Mega Armor up 10 points. Harsh, fair, maybe. I think maybe the Warboss in Mega Armor didn't need it. The regular Warboss, he was 65, which is too cheap, frankly, for what he does, especially since they fixed his WoW attacks in the last update. So I think that one's fine. I think the Mega Armor, a bit expensive, but at the end of the day, you're still going to take him or you're not going to take him. So no changes there. Very pumped for Orks. I think it's going to be an exciting time. GW can't stop me from taking 12 Death Copt, as Melody says. Ooh, it's true. Green Tide is less models than Dread Mob. Is it? I feel like it's close these days, right? It's like 3 bricks of 20 and then some other smaller squads. And then Dread Mob is like 30 shoot 30 flash kits, 30 loot. It's a lot. Bonesaw's Ready still thinks that Warhorde is the meta choice, but you'll see more Big Hunt. I think it's still good. For sure. Okay, folks, that is Orks, the best army. So we're done. No, just kidding. Moving on. Here we are, folks. This is the moment to timestamp. The Space Marines, Espacha Marines. So I've been playing Marines the last few months, and I was sort of ready to put them to the side. And I think I might still, just because there's so many other things that I'm excited for. But my God, the Space Marines are going to be so much fun right now. They're going to be so fun. We've been talking about changes that GW could do to help the vanilla chapters, the Ultramarines, the Salamanders, the Imperial Fists, the Raven Guard. Shall I go on? Because ultimately, if you have a supplement, you have extra rules, and you kind of have really good bespoke units. You just have more options, more combinations, right? So the Blood Angels, the Space Wolves, the Dark Angels, the Black Templars, all those things. And so Vanilla Marines needed a buff. And here it is. The Oath of Moment is now reroll hit rolls, as always. However, if your army is not Black Templars, Blood Angels, Dark Angels, Death Watch, Space Wolves, I think maybe Death Watch could have kept it, but okay. You're going to get +1 to wound against your Oath target as well. It's an interesting change. I will say Space Marines don't necessarily suffer from killing one thing really well. They're really good at that already because of Oath innately. So I kind of wanted it to be like double Oath instead of super Oath. More on that later. But hey, it's a buff. It's a buff. And it's going to make all your units better because +1 to wound makes it so that even your massed bolter fire, more on that later, is gonna do work. So cool. I will take it, honestly. We then see a nerf in Fire Discipline Enhancement. So it gives the unit sustained hits 1, but you no longer get crits on 5s if you're in Devastator Doctrine. Instead, you get reroll advance rolls, which is objectively 1,000 million billion times worse. And fair enough. Do they change the points on it? Because they definitely pointed it based off of when it was good. No, they didn't. I mean, sustained is good, but I got priced out of it personally. I took it out of my list because it was so expensive. So, yeah. What do y'all think about these Space Marines? Got tricked into buffing Ultramarines, the best Space Marine chapter in the game. Ultramarines are so strong right now. Oh my gosh. They were already very, very strong, frankly, with the your Adventurous buffs, the Gilman changes, all that stuff. So, yeah. With that, let's look at the rest of these Space Marine changes. Buckle up, because there's a lot of them. These are, again, aggressive improvements to the faction. So we see the Iron Storm nerfs are staying. Sorry, Crapco. And then we have an increase in damage to the Captain Gravis armor. This is the version that just has the heavy bolt rifle. Goes up to damage 3. Good. You're still probably not really taking this guy. Then we have Lysander. So we see a number. This is part of a series of buffs, and we'll talk about them together. The named characters for chapters that are just in the Codex all have a unit that they like, a type of unit that they're specialized in. And if they are your warlord, that unit will get extra OC in your whole army. You don't have to be attached to the squad, which is very important, and I'm very proud of GW for doing that. So for Darnath, this means your Terminator Assault squads and your Terminator squads have an OC of 2 while they're not battle shocked. Makes sense. That's fantastic. OC2 Terminators going up to 3 if you want to do the banner. We'll talk about all of them at the same time, as I mentioned. Shrike makes it so that your Jump Pack and Assault Intercessors, great unit, go to OC2. I really like this one. It's now a 5-man JPI squad, can easily flip an objective. They can even start flipping them from other troop equivalents. Khan makes your Outriders OC3. Amazing. More on that. Pedro Cantor makes your Stern Guard veteran OC2. I think Stern Guard are still not quite there, but they will get some big buffs as well. And Iron Daddy Pharos gives your, what was this one? Heavy Intercessors OC3. Much love for them. And I think that's it. Somewhere Vulcan gives Infernus Marines OC2, I believe. So, yeah. Where is it? Down here. Vulcan, OC2 Infernus squads. So that's awesome. I love this change. Suddenly, I'm really trying not to take Ultramarines. it's still hard to beat them, but now I think genuinely interesting. And Shrike honestly was already a cool unit. And now he's giving out a buff that's going to help a good unit, kind of taking it farther. So I think this is a fantastic change. I love this. This is kind of what we're talking about earlier about like buffing things kind of in the old style where you're like, if this is your warlord, these guys get battle line or whatever. You can take them as troops back in the day. And it does that in a subtle way. So very excited for that. I want to thank, what's the full name? Letters from Links for the super chat. They say, I blame catering to players of Space Marine 2. Sad diagonal face. Upset. Disappointed face. There's definitely a lot of Space Marine love here. Letters from Links for sure. The thing is to remember though, like outside of the chapters that aren't getting a lot of these buffs, they haven't been doing that well. They really, really haven't. So I don't think it's unwarranted. I think it's a lot of love, but I think GW has made an honest attempt to bring everyone up except for Drukhari. And that's great. I think like aggressive changes in a way that we have not seen in a while. And I don't know that they frankly had to. Like if they had just done a couple of hot fixes, I think most people have been like, yeah, makes sense. Those things are problematic. But instead they decided to be aggressive and really change things up. So I think it's good. Yeah. Let's see. Stern Guard with the Librarian and new detachment can dish out 26 mortals if they are there. Something. Yes. So what's today? Today's Wednesday. Tomorrow's Thursday. We got Space Marines today. Tomorrow on the stream, we are playing the new Librarius Conclave detachment with the Lion, so sweep 2, with upgraded Infernus Marines, upgraded Stern Guard, upgraded heavy and regular assault intercessors. The only thing I couldn't fit in was Outriders because we don't have any Dark Angel Outriders. So we're going to be testing out a lot of those new things tomorrow, which will be fun. But yeah, what do y'all think here? What do you think? Here's hoping to get a nice Grotmus detachment for... Yeah, Space Wolves. Yeah, I'm curious what we get for Space Wolves. That'll be cool. Black Templars, I'm happy I can just keep Intercessors my home objective and not be forced to take Infiltrators anymore. Yeah, for sure. Finally make Salamander's army from all these random Space Marine units that I have. Honestly, yes. I'm very bullish on Salamanders. I've liked that detachment since launch. I'm on record for that. But I think with upgrades for like Infernus Marines, which we'll talk about, it's good. It's actually very spicy. So let's keep on moving. Heavy Intercessors, another unit change. Their heavy bolt rifles go from damage 1 to damage 2. And the heavy bolt rifle starts at BS3, which means it hits on 2s when you're in the when you don't move. Great change. Great change. They do go up in points. I want to say like 30 points. Okay, it's 15. It's 30 for the big squad. That's not so bad. That's fine. So now very, very playable. And then the Impulsor, that's an old change. Infernus Marines, AP1 baby, let's go. AP1, ignore cover. You can get extra AP from the Hail Strike. You can you can get extra AP if you're going to be Librarius, or you can just do Storm of Fire if you are in Gladius. I really like Infernus Marines now. It's exciting. Let's take a look at their points. Did they go up? They did by 10 points. Checks out. 10 points, 20 points for the full squad. Inceptor's down because obviously their stonks went down. Calgar went up because he's amazing. Why did Reavers go up? Oh, I don't know. Let's find out. So Inceptors, the 3-inch deep strike goes to a 6-inch deep strike. Infernus Marines, in addition to getting extra AP in their range attacks, you might not know this. When they shoot something, they force a battle shock test. Who knew? You now do that at a -1, which genuinely makes it so much better because of the distribution curve of 2d6. The more that you kind of push it to its limits, there's a very, very steep fall off. So we have typical army is leadership 7. Having them have to pass that on an 8 actually starts to fall out very, very quickly. So it's good change. I like it. And another aggressive change, frankly, we know they're afraid to use Battle Shock too aggressively. Intercessor Squad, this one's very interesting. So basically, target elimination allows you to pick a single target, and if you put all your shots into them, you get +2 shots to their bolts rifles. This gives you, is this 4 shots each? Is this 20 shots from 5 guys? That's wild. They have heavy, they have assault, very flexible. I love it. So you're getting more damage from all these Space Marines. I think, frankly, we're about to go into a very, very killy, very lethal time in the game. Can I say very one more time? Also need to let little B. I'm not gonna make my meeting. I'm being way more in depth on this than I expected. Little B. Am still streaming. Perfect. Okay, so the next one is the character upgrades. Another aggressive change here for Outriders. The bikes are so cool, and they've just languished this edition. They've seen points decrease after decrease after decrease, and it's just never quite been enough. Well, how about this, folks? How about they get on the charge +1 strength, +1 damage. Oh, it's so good. They're basically Thunderwolf Cavalry on the charge now. Sorry, Mel. That is massive. Massive. Do they get points increases? Let's take a look. Outriders. Oh, no. They don't. 80 points for 3 models that have like 12 2 damage attacks on the charge. Yes, please sign me up. Absolutely. I've built 6 more. I am painting them right now so we can show you them on the stream as soon as possible. It's exciting. What do y'all think about that? Bust out the Leviathan boxes. Yeah, this is truly the time of Leviathan. It's back, baby. Super, super exciting. So let me know what you think about this. Alrighty. Riva Meta is coming. Let's go. Mini Mahar. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on. Let's see. So, Predator Annihilator, same as before. You can reroll the damage roll. Reaver squads, their battle shocks that they cause at the start of the fight phase against enemies in engagement range add additional -1. Great. And importantly, Reavers, they get kind of like an old ability back, which is if you're within 3 inches of them and you're not a monster vehicle, it's -1 to your OC. Another way that they become more playable. Repulsor Executioner gains a capacity of 7. So 7. So you can put those characters in them. And Mr. Robute Gilliman, we did notice he goes up 60 points. So right back where he was before this last balanced data slate. But in exchange, you now get to pick 2 of his Author of the Codex abilities. So remember, you can get now Double Oath, which is even more powerful than before. And you can also get the CP refund. I forget what the other one is, but those are the best 2 ones. So very, very exciting time to be playing Ultramarines. On top of that, Stern Guard, when you target the Oath squad, so you'll get reroll hits, +1 to wound, and now you'll get reroll wounds, which is extremely spicy for them because, of course, they are known for having combi weapons or the other bolt rifle that is also devastating. So I would love to see these units played. They might be my favorite unit from the Leviathan box, model-wise. Yeah, they are. I mean, it's Marines with robes. What's not to like, you know? So that's exciting. And again, we'll be testing that out tomorrow with the Librarius Conclave. The thing that I decided to give them tomorrow is they have the enhancements so that you get crits, anti-monster, anti-vehicle 5+, and then I gave them the normal bolt rifles. So they'll be just kind of good against everything rather than leaning purely on being good against infantry. So then you do get mortals on 5s with rerolls. Very spicy. And sustained hits if you have the right discipline up. So that's amazing. And then next up, various combat blades and knives. They are all getting their extra AP. So this is for your Captain Phobos armor, your Lieutenant and Reaver, your Reaver squad, your Scout squad, your Incursors, your Lieutenant Phobos armor, and your Lieutenant with combi weapon. All get +1 AP in melee. Finally, playable. Another reason that you don't necessarily need to have infiltrators now. A reason that Incursors are interesting. A reason that Reavers are very spicy. I can't believe I just said that. Reavers. We're taking Reavers, people. I'm excited. In case you can't tell. We're going to have so many knife fights. Yes. Bummed that Robo was under 300 points for only like 3 months. True, but I think he's totally worth the points now, honestly. Like, he is strong. Strong. Yeah. Reroll Battle Shock thing is the other ability. Yeah, 60 points I think is worth it, folks. I think it's worth it, honestly. It's like eating gruel, getting to eat cookies, and being forced to eat gruel again. I'm sorry, Miles. Trust me, the Marines are going to be very fun to play right now. That's the rules changes. We'll just take a brief look at the points again. Your Ventress goes up, a very strong ability with Vect. Scouts go up. Again, GW trying to just not let us spam things too hard. Stern Guard go up. Makes me sad. We'll see about that one. I'm curious. And then of course, yeah, the units, all the other units that get buffs go up as well, which makes sense because they are significant increases. That's Space Marines. But what about the Space Wolves? The only rules change is that their Wolf Scouts also get the extra AP, which in a weird way, it's just a buff, but in a weird way, it's kind of a nerf in the sense that like the Wolf Scouts advantage over normal Scouts, you paid more for them, but the advantage was they actually could fight. You could take some special weapons and things like that in melee, and now all Scouts actually fight decently, so the gap between them is a little bit smaller. Obviously, it's not really a nerf, but just if you were looking for something to complain about, because they did also go up in points along with Wolfen, funny enough. So, yeah, it's fine. I think, how about this, though? So, Wolf Jail, it's 18 Thunderwolf Cav, plus the characters, plus you take Outriders now. It's even more jail. Tau, absolutely 0 changes in the balance data slate, and I think, oh, no, dang it, there's a 1 point change on the Tiger Shark. Cool, 50 points increase on a Forge Roll unit. Fine, that's a big points increase, though. Were people playing this at events? Was this a thing? I have to know. Interesting. 1,000 Suns, you have escaped this time. Apparently you've taken enough nerfs. The Predator Nile gains the reroll damage ability, just like the other one. No points changes, so okay. And in an era in which Armor Contempt is worse, I think 1,000 Suns players can only be happy. Surely. It seems really good for them, honestly. Tiger Shark with Kion is nutty. Interesting. Huh. Yeah, the 3-inch Deep Strike does hurt Retaliation Cadre. That is true. The Enforcer Commander that reduces AP still works, though. That's a thing. Bottom Shelf Joe asks, is Leontas worth it anymore? I think he's good, but he's an option now. I think he's not. He has officially left the auto take mandatory space, which is good. No model should be an auto take. Retaliation Cadre lost like half their strats, though. Oh, yeah, that's true. That is true. Yeah, it is a rough time to be playing Retaliation Cadre. Wolfen went up for no good reason unless the new detachment has some kind of crazy good buff for them. Honestly, I was saying like Wolfen could be an interesting detachment for them to do something about. Yeah. How much difference does points increase really do now that points equals power level? On my list ended up at like 1965 or something like that. That's very wise words, honestly. I think points do obviously matter. They matter more for some armies than other because of the way that the points just add out and chunk out. But it is less impactful than it used to be, for sure. Brett Cadre got taken out back and shot. Oh, no. Yeah. Hey, the Hellhound is perfectly fine. Wait, did they take a rule away from the Hellhound? Did they? Did I miss that? Did they? No model should be an auto take. Hides Typhus. Yeah, Typhus is nuts. Nuts. We'll take a look at the bespoke rules and stuff after we finish covering this, because why not? Tyranids. Okay, this is where I could potentially use a bit of help, so I'm glad Digital is here. Assimilation Swarm did get hit very badly in the last couple of updates. Of course, not letting you bring back units and limiting a couple other things. Now, Feed the Swarm Detachment rule says in your command phase, each harvester... this is Assimilation Swarm. This is not Endless Swarm. Each harvester unit from your army can... you can regenerate. I'm going to have to pull this up. I have no idea what it did. Let's see... What's it called? Feed the Swarm? Feed the Swarm. Okay. So it was... Isn't that the same? Oh, so they take away you having to be within range of an objective marker that you control. You just do it. Okay. All right, cool. And then it goes from D3 wounds to D3 plus 1 wounds. Great. That's awesome. That's a big change. Just being able to do it anywhere on the battlefield, not have to be an objective that you control. That is exciting to see. And then, let's see. Nothing here. The Norn Assimilator got the Harvester keyword, so they can interact with this detachment, as they always should have been able to, which is great. And then the Trigon now, 3-inch Deep Strike goes to a 6-inch Deep Strike, which makes me sad. It's a very cool model that didn't really see play before, and it's certainly not going to see play now. So that's a bit of a bummer. And then just decreases. The Norns, despite seeming on paper very strong, have simply not performed in events, so they're becoming cheaper. The Trigon, cheaper. Tyrant Guard, I would love to see Tyrant Guard on the board. Got cheaper. Seems like totally reasonable changes here on the balanced data slate. Which takes us finally to the World Eaters. The Demon Prince on foot has changed a couple times this edition. It was taken at one point. It was taken. But now the way it works is you gives the unit a 4+ invulnerable save unless... Wait, let me read this. Let me read this verbatim. While a friendly World Eater's infantry unit within 6 inches of this models in this unit have a 5+ invulnerable save unless they already have a 5+ invulnerable save, in which case they have a 4+ invulnerable save. Cool? And then, of course, the Predator Annihilator gets updated to get the reroll damage ability. And then World Eaters, no points changes. That's the balanced data slate. There are probably a couple other documents that are maybe worth taking a look at. They get reworked every year. Yeah, exactly. My chat is being very weird. It's like stuttering. I'm getting no messages and then a ton of messages. Trigon is still okay in Vanguard. Okay, well that's good. Hype Tyrant with 6 Tyrant Guard with that 1 enhancement might just never die. That sounds super fun, honestly. Wish Tyrant Guard got a new rule. That's fair. Louise Dunford says Marines are at a 40%. That's not a new player skill issue, especially as most casual players do not play tournaments. I think the casual player thing is a factor for Space Marines, genuinely speaking, but I also at the same time do think that generic Space Marines did need a buff. I think that's entirely fair. What do you all think about these changes? Sisters deserve it. Mission pack changes are worth a look. Mission pack changes. Okay, yeah. Any other documents that we should pull up right now while we're here? Because it's all relevant. Leviathan core rules update? Anything interesting here? Looking for red. Did they change Overwatch? What the heck? Normal, advance, or fallback move, or declares a charge. Normal, advance, or fallback move. That's not different, is it? Starts or ends a normal, advance, or fallback move, or declares a charge. What's different? What did I miss there? Let's see. Nothing else here. This is just commentary stuff. Tournament Companion. Digital said we should take a look at. So we shall take a look. Secret missions. Yep, in the 5th battle round, you cannot score any VP from the final mission card if you take a secret mission. That's not a new change. Was this one actually updated? 12/11. That is today. Okay. Character models were destroyed. Yes. Cold Horde. When that unit's player added that unit to their army, the points value they subtracted from the total permitted for this battle round was sufficient for that unit to be composed of 20 or more models. What does that even mean? Can someone explain that? Let me pull this over. What is that saying? Oh, my chat crashed again. Give me a second, y'all. It's just loading back up. Declarations instead of start and end now. If they fail the roll, you can overwatch them. You can't take 19 models to get around coal. Okay. This doesn't seem like a new change, though. They had already done that. Linchpin capped at 15. Excellent. Roll off the winner selects which corner. Oh, that's cool. So hidden supplies, this is the mission where your objectives get split. And it was always like kind of ambiguous, like which way you're supposed to divide it. So now the players roll off and the winner selects which corner. That's huge. That's kind of weird because it's like a big advantage for one player or the other. And then if unit starts an action that completes at the end of my turn, can I target the unit with fire overwatch strategy in my opponent's turn without causing the action to fail? And the answer is yes. Yeah, so that's actually from the World's FAQ. So that makes sense. Cool. That's that. I don't know that there's anything else. This is the Grommus detachment stuff. Drukhari. I wanted to see... Where's Tau? Did they do extra changes on top? Just like within here? Recently updated. Apostrophe. Combat Patrol. I don't want Combat Patrol. They didn't. Okay, yeah, cool. Just making sure everyone's just talking about the normal changes. Excellent. Here we are, chat. Welcome back. Welcome back. Well, folks, this has been the Balanced Data Slate. It's an exciting time in Warhammer. I am so incredibly enthused. I've been just so torn on what to work on every single night. I've been feel like I'm working on a different project. I think these are great changes. I think these are aggressive changes. I think I'm sad for Drukhari. But apart from that, I think everything looks like it's in the right place, and they're really trying to buff units and that needed it. They're really going in there and helping things. I know it looks like Space Marines are always going to be the favored, but let's be honest, they've been doing very, very poorly lately. So it's great, and it's great to make more people's models collections viable than ever. So it's super exciting. Index card clarifies that the Black Templar strats and enhancement get the Val buffs even if they aren't active for the entire army. Okay, yeah. So just small things. Spec says, paint your dark Admech. Yeah, what should I play, chat? Things I'm excited about. I'm excited about Admech. Definitely excited about Admech. And I'm particularly excited about the new detachment because I really don't want to play with 35 Bat Boys. It just sounds miserable in every way. Building, painting, playing against. And I'm not really feeling that. So Admech are exciting. Before all of this, I had been like, I'm really interested in finally doing CSM. Every time I play them on the channel, I'm like, I really like this army. I should play this. I should play this army. So I've been working on that actually, and I want to play those soon. So that's an interesting option. GSC, I feel like I can finally look at and kind of see if I want to play them. The only downside to them is there's not really any hobby to do with them. You know, I have my good friend Jeff in Control Robinson's army that I inherited when he passed, and it's a beautiful army, but like it's all done. So there's no like new hobby to go for, and I wouldn't be able to try for like Renaissance person because I didn't paint a lot of that army. So that's my honest answer why I haven't like pushed as hard on GSC. When the new year comes, I imagine Eldar is gonna be super exciting. Orks. I want to be more excited about Orks. I think it's the changes that they needed, but I don't know that it really changes how I would build or play them, you know? So I'm not like, there's nothing like new per se. And then obviously Space Marines are more exciting than ever. So those are a few armies that I'm personally super excited about. But yeah, as a Tau player, what are your hopes for Tau detachment, Adrian? Ooh, okay, good question. So we have Kalyan, we have Montka, we have Retaliation Cadre, we have Kroot detachment. I think, what are things in the past? I think like a stealth detachment would be a ton of fun. That's based around ghost kills and stealth units. And then like maybe, like they're getting pretty wacky with the rules. You could do something that like gives those certain keywords to other units, maybe. Which would be cool. And obviously you can have Shadow Sun in there. So I think that'd be sweet. I think you could do a more holistic detachment that's about like having the like Kroot and like Vespid allies. There is a faction that's based around that, and we've had rules for that in the past, so that I think would be cool. Where they like get marker lights, which I think is what the rule was before. You could also do. Someone mentioned doing the 8, which seems like a very Grotmus style detachment because I don't like. That's not a normal detachment you would normally see. So I think that would be really cool too. But as Burgess said, that unit has always been problematic, either because it's been unplayable or it's been too good. So that'd be sweet. Yeah, no problem, Uncle Matthew. Happy to help. Let's see. New data sheets. More beast snaggers. What does that mean? Any sort of holistic combined forces detachment. Yes, exactly. They already put Wall of Mirrors in Kion, and they use the phrase "it's over." It's over. They can't. I know. I was, as I was saying it, I was thinking about. I'm like, they kind of already have it built into Kion, but you never know. Worlders can't get anything but demon engines, right? What other fantasy is in the index detachment? Well, they could do Khorne Demonkin style, where they like we've seen knights and chaos knights with allies. What about world leaders with like I know you can already take Khorne demons, but like what if they were more integrated? Like what if they got double dice? That would be sick. I could also see like an 8-bound heavy list, or like Angron's kind of force, which is another thing we saw in the end of last edition. That'd be sweet. So kill team rules did drop. Oh, the kill team rules are out. Whoa. Okay, hold on. This stream's not over. Not over. How are the tank bustas? Where would this be? They're called like Rekkas, right? Wrecking Crew? Ork. Combat Patrol. Is it here? Or is it only for kill team? Are we getting 40k rules? I want 40k rules. Other rules. Here it goes. Vespid. Aquilons. No, they're not here. Oh, do you just mean like for kill team? No. Let me know if I'm missing something. They only put them up in the app. Oh, that's so weird. Okay. Yeah, you'll just have to tell me right now. I don't think my app's not going to be updated. +1 to hit, +1 to wound, once per game, +1 strength and AP. Oh, that sounds awesome. 120 points for 6. Okay. I know what's in the app, but mine's probably not updated. Wreck. Yeah, I'll have to update it. Well, that's very exciting. Honestly, we'll have to get them on the stream very soon. I haven't built those ones because the tank buster rules were so sad. I didn't want to get excited. We will see, but I'll get them up and about, and maybe we can play them with Grotmus detachment, whatever that ends up being. Reroll charges, 2 attacks each, 6, 3, 2, 1 has dev wounds. 2 attacks is buns. 2 attacks is buns, but the rest of their profile is not bad. All right, folks, I am going to get going. Today is Wednesday, so we don't have anything else coming out today. Tomorrow, however, of course, we will do a session with the members at noon, so join us for that. I'm sure we'll be talking about all these new releases, and we'll strategize and do a session for that. So if you're not a member, consider becoming one and joining us for that live. We've been doing weekly tactics sessions with the members and kind of going through that on top of all the extra behind the scenes content and the extra streams. For example, on Tuesday, the members got to see the new Grey Knights versus the new Custodes. So, check that out. It's a good time to be doing that. And of course, tomorrow at 3 p.m. we'll have our normal game. It's going to be exciting. So we will post up that link, and excited. Looking forward to tomorrow's Grotmus detachments. It's going to be good. With that, thank you so much for joining me and hanging out for the last couple hours. This was a good time, folks. Went by real fast. I'll catch y'all next time on the tabletop. Bye.